I know you're chasing fat loss and I know you've been struggling. My weigh-in system of tracking your weight every day and looking at the weekly average will make a big difference when it comes to you dropping your unwanted kilos. It's quick and easy and it beats calorie counting. Today, I'm going to teach you why you need to weigh yourself every day for effective fat loss. Why? Because counting calories sucks. We've all been there trying to learn how to track calories, weigh our chicken, weigh our broccoli, and then having to plug it into our MyFitnessPal. But what happens when you're not at home? What happens when you don't know how much something weighs? It's a lot of extra bandwidth wasted into calories. My philosophy is why count calories when you can get great fat loss from tracking your weight? Common trap that a lot of people fall into is they'll weigh themselves every now and then. They step on the scales once a month or every 5 or 6 weeks, and then they freak out because they don't like what the scale is telling them. Maybe it's telling them they're up. The trouble with this is it's inaccurate. You might have a false high reading, you might have a false low, and it doesn't mean that you're up on where you were last time. It's just you simply don't have enough data. When you weigh yourself every single day, 7 days a week, when you're at the comfort of your own home, of course, if you're out of town or away from your home, that's a valid exception. But when you weigh yourself 7 days a week, you're getting a lot better data. You're getting a lot more information. You'll be able to detect trends, and more importantly, you will know what your weekly average is. And then you will know where you're trending, whether you're trending up, staying the same, or trending down. Trying to lose weight and going by feel or going by how clothes fit is also inaccurate and a big problem that I see. How you feel day to day is influenced by so many factors, and you don't want to lean your fat loss on feels, because some days you're going to feel like Superman and you'll be thinking, great, my fat loss journey's going fantastic. Other days you might feel a bit stressed with work or family or other things, and then all of a sudden you'll feel a bit down about your fat loss. Clothes, I also believe, are inaccurate because the way clothes fit can change based on how much muscle you're developing on your body. Clothes can change how they fit by, if you have a mishap in the dryer or if your clothes shrink, all of a sudden there goes your data point. Weighing yourself every day for fat loss is going to keep you accountable. You will have a metric in place that'll keep you accountable for how you're going. Are you just treading water with your fat loss? Are you on track? Do you need to make changes? Okay, so how do I weigh myself? What's the system? Step number one, you need some cheap bathroom scales. You don't need to overinvest money into fancy scales that give you body fat percentage and tell you what your mood is doing or predict the weather. Just get some cheap bathroom scales that are digital that will tell you what your weight is to 1 decimal point. Next step is put these bathroom scales in a place where you're going to almost trip over them every single morning. Mine are under my sink in the bathroom, and before when I'm getting ready in the morning, getting my hair styled, I'll see the bathroom scales and I'll pull them out, step on them. If you're forgetting to weigh in, it just means that the scales aren't in an easily accessible place. I want you to use a simple spreadsheet that'll help you track your weight and the time of your weigh-in. If you want the exact spreadsheet that I use for myself and for all of my athletes, comment your Instagram handle, message me on Instagram, or just drop your Instagram and I'll reach out to you and I'll send it to you for free. Simple spreadsheet will help you weigh in the morning and then write it down so that every day, Monday to Sunday, you can log your weight and the time of your weigh-in. I don't want you to get caught up in the day-to-day fluctuations. I want you to practice ignoring the noise when it comes to one day is up, one day is down, etc. Ignore the day-to-day. My spreadsheet will give you a weekly average down the bottom. And the weekly average is the game I want you to play. Week to week, as you gather the data, you'll be able to see what your weekly average is doing. If your weekly average is up, that means you were in a calorie surplus. That's the opposite of losing weight. If your weekly average is staying the same, that means you're in maintenance. Maintenance is good once your dream physique is achieved, but not good when we're trying to lose weight. If your weekly average is going down, that's the sweet spot. You have done everything you need to do for that week. You are on track. Don't forget, a good time of day to weigh yourself is first thing in the morning. Say you get out of bed after you go to the bathroom and before you have any food or drink. That's the most accurate weight for the day. Have it as a morning routine. Common mistake that I see with my athletes in the beginning is they'll get into a habit of weighing themselves 2 or 3 times per week. Don't forget, 7 days worth of data is a lot better for fat loss results than 2 or 3. I want you to try and hit 7 days every week. The only exception is if you're out of town and you don't have access to bathroom scales. A question you might have is, Svet, what's a good amount of weight for me to lose on the weekly average week to week? The target is anything. That's right. I'm happy with 50 grams down. I'm happy with 100 grams. 150 is great. Any target is good. In actual fact, I don't want to see a kilo or 2 or 3. That would be too aggressive, and that might mean that your calorie deficit is too aggressive and you're at risk of losing hard-earned muscle mass. Any amount of down is good. I want you to celebrate a 50-gram loss just as much as you would celebrate 1 kilo loss. Of course, if you're carrying more fat, if you're carrying more weight, it's going to be easier for you to shift that weight in the beginning. When we've got more to lose, you might get more grams or more kilograms down in the beginning. Then when you've got less to lose, when you're closer to your dream physique, then the weight loss might slow down a bit, and that's okay as well. Okay, now that you know to ignore the day-to-day noise, play the weekly average. After 2 weeks, you'll be able to compare your weekly average to the week before. Svet, my weekly average is down. That's brilliant. Think of me standing on the sideline with a trophy and I'm cheering, I'm yelling your name and I'm holding your trophy on the sideline. If your weekly average is down, that is mission accomplished. You did the work, you're trending down with your fat loss. All we have to do now is rinse and repeat every week. Try and go on a bit of a hot streak. Try and connect some weekly average down trends. Svet, all of a sudden my weight is sideways. I didn't get a downtrend. It's the same as what it was last week. Okay, don't stress. That means you are in maintenance this week. So to beat the weekly average next week, we're going to have to either move a little bit more, eat a little bit less, or my personal favorite, do a bit of both. Move more and eat less, and that will help you beat the trend the following week. Okay, Svet, the worst case scenarios happen. My weekly average is up. Don't stress, that too might happen from time to time. This means you were in a calorie surplus and you're actually gaining weight. That's the opposite of what we want to be achieving. So now you've got to go back to the drawing board. Are you going to move more? Are you going to eat less? Or are you going to do a bit of both? But the good news is you now have a system in place to keep you accountable. And you haven't wasted weeks or months thinking that you're achieving fat loss when in actual fact, you're not. There's going to be some factors that'll contribute to you being heavier on the scales the following day. Are you ready? If you have dinner later than what you normally have it, you are going to be heavier the next day on the scales. Does that mean that you've gained fat? Of course not. It just means that you had dinner later the night before. If you've had more salt than what you normally have, the salt is going to retain the fluid in your body, and then you're going to be heavier the day before. Does that mean salt is bad or that you've gained weight? Absolutely not. The weekly average is going to cancel out these factors. If you've consumed more carbs than what you normally consume and you're heavier the next day, does that mean carbs are bad for you and you've gained fat? Of course not. Carbs act as a bit of a sponge, and they too take in the fluid, and that's contributing to you being heavier the next day. If you've had more fluid than what you normally have, that extra fluid in your body, it can be in water, tea, other hydration, that extra fluid is going to mean that you might be heavier the next day. Does that mean fluid is bad? Of course not. Have your fluid, but that's why we have the 7 days worth of data, so that things like this cancel out, and then we listen to the weekly average and not the day-to-day noise. Another reason the scales might be going up is because you didn't subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm here pouring my heart and soul into this fitness content, bringing you guys the education and the good vibes. Be sure to hit the subscribe button, drop a comment if stuff like this is helping. So who should be weighing themselves every day for fat loss? I think anybody that wants to achieve an incredible physique. You can, if you're calorie counting, you can do this in addition to your calorie counting. If you're like me and you absolutely hate calorie counting, this system is perfect for you. Men and women that are looking to achieve good fat loss, sustainable long-term fat loss, this is a powerful tool to help you. You wouldn't try and save for a house and never check the bank account. This is the same. Who should avoid weighing themselves every day? Any men and women that are struggling with mental health. If you're currently struggling with mental health, and if you're getting into fitness to rebuild your health or rebuild your relationship with training and exercise, I think you should avoid weighing yourself for the time being. Rebuild your health, rebuild your mental health, and then you can perhaps revisit this down the track. In summary, what have we learned? Weighing yourself every day is so much more effective than stepping this on the scales every now and then. Having a metric in play that's going to keep you accountable beats trying to achieve fat loss and just going by how your clothes fit or how you feel about your fat loss. That is the worst. Who would benefit from this? Anybody that's looking for good long-term fat loss. How to do it? You play the weekly average game. You ignore the day-to-day noise and you try and beat your weekly average from the week before. Weighing yourself every day is going to help you achieve sustainable long-term fat loss. Every kilo you lose is gone forever. It's quick and easy. You can do it in the comfort of your own home. No expensive equipment needed. You've got this. Guys, if you've benefited from this clip, hit the subscribe button, and I've got 2 poppin' videos. One is more fat loss tips, and the other video is this shit gets boring. The work gets tedious. Check this one out as well. Thanks for watching.